What's up guys, my name is Ace, and I know many of you guys are still on the Modern Warfare 3 camo grind, and one of the challenges that I get asked about a lot, many people are looking for tips on this, is how to get wall penetration kills more efficiently for your LMGs as well as the KATT AMR, since these are the weapons that require you to get bullet penetration kills in order to get your camos unlocked. So today we're going to be covering that topic, and I'm going to be sharing what the best ammo type is to use for bullet penetration kills, some general gameplay tips that may help you get these a little more effectively just while playing essentially normally, as well as some of the best maps and spots to look out for to get these bullet penetration kills as easy as possible. And diving right into it, let's talk about ammo types a little bit. A lot of people have been asking me which is the best ammo type if you're trying to get these wallbang kills. Because for many of the guns at least, you're going to be having like 2 to 3 different ammo types that all state that they help you with bullet penetration, but there's no stated values as far as which ones are going to be helping you more when shooting through surfaces. And for LMGs, you're typically going to see armor-piercing ammo, round nose ammo, and mono ammo. And I hopped on, did some testing with these, and I was quite surprised to find they all do exactly the same thing with your bullet penetration. You will deal the exact same amount of damage through a given surface, regardless of which one of these ammo types you're using. Now, they all improve your bullet penetration, but they all improve it by the same amount. So I definitely recommend if you're going for wallbang kills, just pick one of these ammo types that says that it improves your bullet penetration, but it really doesn't matter which one of these you pick. So that part was pretty simple, a lot more simple than I thought it would be. I thought there would be some variance here, but there simply isn't. Next, let's get into some general gameplay tips when going for wallbangs. This is more so if you're trying to do it organically, like you're just trying to mix these wallbangs in while playing the game reasonably normally. Some of these may seem obvious to many of you, but just keep in mind everybody starts from a different point and they may not have thought of all of these things. One big thing is if you have an enemy that's in a window and they're shooting at you, just shoot the bottom edge of the window in order to get the kill on that player. Obviously, this does depend on the surface type surrounding the window, but most windows in this game, it's just going to be a wooden surface, which will have like a medium penetration value, and therefore you should be able to shoot through that just fine and get yourself a kill on the people that are camping in a window. Next, on the flip side of this is a great tip, is line yourself up in a situation where there's a choke point in front of you or just a common power position where you know somebody is going to be coming to that position at some point, and they're going to be funneled nicely into a very specific spot. Have your sights lined up on that spot. Start shooting when you see the enemy player, and as you're doing so, crouch or strafe behind cover. So this can work if you have like a waist-high piece of cover that you can shoot through. If you see that target coming to your sights, you start shooting the moment you also start crouching, and this will generally allow you to get them into a lower health state with direct shots, and it'll just be the last few rounds that finish them off through that piece of cover that's in front of you. Additionally, this can work great with various windows, for instance. You can just kind of hover along the edge of the window, or even just use the bit of window frame that comes through the middle of the window. And then as you're doing that, you just strafe a little bit to ensure that your bullets are now traveling through that cover in front of you, and that's often great for finishing off a kill. Additionally, when it comes to general tips, if you're really struggling with this challenge, I definitely recommend going into hardcore game modes. It's generally just going to be a lot easier for you to finish off a kill, because sometimes in core modes, some surfaces may seem like a thin surface, only for you to find out it takes you like 10 plus shots with an LMG through that surface in order to get a kill, when for the enemy, it's only going to be taking them like 5 bullets to kill you. So that could potentially add a lot of difficulty in core game modes. So hardcore can make that a lot easier, but it's definitely not necessary by any means. And one final general tip I wanted to talk about here is snapshot grenades. You would think that snapshots would be the obvious choice because it will show enemy players through walls if they get pinged by a snapshot. But the problem with this is snapshots just aren't that powerful in this game, at least in my opinion. It will only show that enemy glowing through a wall for about 1 second. And when you factor in the amount of time it takes for you to throw that snapshot and then for it to actually go off and mark that enemy, in my experience, by the time that snapshot even goes off, that guy has already come around the corner to challenge you, or he's in a completely different spot where you're not even in a position to shoot him through a wall. And as a result, I've actually found that snapshots can be a bit detrimental to this challenge because you spend too much time trying to get that perfect timing throwing that snapshot just right, when you could just be spraying and praying through a wall, waiting till you get a hit marker, and then once you do, you just keep spraying in that spot. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the general gameplay tips. Like I said, pretty straightforward for the most part, and I'm sure many of you guys have been playing Call of Duty for a long time. You already know these tips. Finally, let's move into some of the best spots that I've got for getting wallbang kills in this game. Now, before we get into this, just a couple things to point out. First off, not all of these spots are going to work every single time. Sometimes you get a wallbang in a spot, and then the next kill you get from that exact same position isn't a wallbang. There's definitely going to be some inconsistency here with many of these spots. And another thing I wanted to point out here, you don't necessarily have to wait for the best maps for wallbangs to pop up, and you don't have to put yourself in these specific spots or anything. I just wanted to show off the spots that I find are really good for farming these wallbangs. So if you really want to focus on getting these done efficiently, you may want to just work on other challenges until you see these specific maps pop up. And in my opinion at least, by far the best two maps for doing this challenge are going to be Scrapyard and High Rise. And the reason behind this is on Scrapyard, you have this chain link fence here, and shooting through this fence will yield wallbang kills. And the best part about this, you lose very little damage shooting through this, especially with an LMG using one of the ammo types that improves bullet penetration. It's often still going to take you the same number of shots to kill through this chain link as it would if you weren't shooting through anything. So that's excellent. Additionally, you can obviously see your target the entire time, so you're not playing a guessing game and trying to track hit markers through a solid surface. You can see your target the entire time there. So basically just post up on this chain link, doesn't matter which side you're on, so that's great. The enemy team can be spawning on either side of the map, and you should be able to get tons and tons of wallbang kills through that chain link fence. So that one's super straightforward. However, there's also High Rise, and the best part about High Rise is, at least at the time of me recording this video, we currently have the Hangover 24/7 playlist, which is a variant of High Rise, and all these wallbang spots work on this. So if this is a challenge you really want to get done, I would recommend doing it like right now before we lose this playlist. But the big thing about High Rise is we have chain link fences basically everywhere, and all of them have the potential to work for wallbang kills. So I'm just showing off a few of the different angles that I like using and keeping an eye out for depending on the situation. Obviously, you will have to sort of maneuver yourself around and position yourself well so that you can line up your enemies in those wallbang spots. But these chain link fences are just incredible for getting wallbang kills on High Rise. But then on top of that, just wanted to show a couple alternatives here. These ones admittedly are a little bit less consistent at getting wallbang kills compared to the chain link fences, especially in core game modes. You do lose a little bit more bullet damage through here. And then also I do find it's a bit of a coin flip as to whether or not the kill will register as a wallbang kill from here. But I did want to show these off anyway, just to provide you guys with a little bit of an alternative here. Now, of course, these aren't the only maps where you can efficiently get wallbangs. I just consider them to be by far the best maps to get wallbangs. And as we wrap up this video, I just wanted to share a bunch of random spots that I've found on other maps in the game that can also be great for bullet penetration if you want to do this a little bit more organically and you just want to play the game normally on any map in the game and still work on these camos. Obviously, it's not going to be nearly as efficient, but they're still great spots. And with that, that's pretty much it. With these tips, you should be able to knock out all of the bullet penetration kills, no problem, in a very short period of time. And thankfully, we also don't need like hundreds and hundreds of these. So again, like I said, you should be able to blast through this pretty quickly. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's video on how to get these bullet penetration kills most efficiently in Modern Warfare 3. And this is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Have you already finished all of your bullet penetration kills that you need? And if so, do you have any other tips that you wanted to add on to this? Any other areas perhaps on different maps that you also found to be very efficient for getting these bullet penetration kills? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.